I hope there's some energy left now in the room, because I see a lot of people already left the room. So I hope that this content will be interesting for you. Machines do the work. Humans are either weak or lazy or inefficient to do it. Can you imagine your life without any machine? I seriously doubt it. How would you get here? How would I be able to present even here? And with machine learning, it's quite similar. It's just that we were able to educate or to make the machines better, to help us in a way we could not imagine before. And that's why I believe that soon in the future, we will not be able to imagine our life without machine learning either. And that's also why at JobCZ we believe that by leveraging the power of machine learning, we can help our candidates to speed up the job searching process and make their life easier. But how to get the most from the machine learning? First, and the most important advice from me, never start using machine learning just because it's sexy, just because everybody else is doing that. First, identify the problem, opportunity, or challenge which it should solve. And then search for the right solution. And it may or may not be the machine learning. If you have the right solution in place, or at least you believe that you have the right solution, then with the right knowledge of your product, of your users, search for the right place. And my advice is that experiment as much as possible. And I will show you some experiments from JobCZ later on the slides. Last but not least, keep improving the engine itself. Just because you bought an iPhone 3 years ago, it does not mean that the operating system will work for you and will serve you well in 3 years ago. So never forget to work on the engine itself. Now let's have a look how we face this issue, all of these issues at JobCZ. Welcome to Czech Republic market, where the unemployment rate is below 3% in the past few years, and currently is even, I think, 2.5 is the lowest unemployment rate in European Union. Luckily, at JobCZ, we have our job a little bit more easier because we are the biggest job portal in Czech Republic. We have more than 300,000 unique job applicants every year. I know it might sound that it's not that much, but in Czech Republic, it's really much. But what bothers us more is the user behavior. 90% of the users who comes to our website, they never reply, but they make 50% of all job offers visits. It means that either they are just observing the market, or they come to our website, but they did not find anything for them and they left. And that's quite a trouble for us. And then the second biggest challenge for us is that 30% of our users, they search only by location. It means that they don't use the profession or the industries we enable them in the search. Why? The first reason for that is the fear of missing out effect. Because they are so afraid that by filtering somehow, by filtering the professions and industries, they can miss some job offer. So they rather search only by Prague, and then they scan all the results, and they have to go through a lot of irrelevant job offers before they find the right one. And the second reason for that, and here I will show you a nice picture of my sister. This is my sister, and I always like to tell her story as a representative of all of those users. 2 years ago, she came back to me and she told me, hey, Kateřina, I'm searching for a new job. And of course, I recommend her, go to JobCZ. This is the biggest job portal. You will find the suitable job for you quite soon. I think like the day after, she came back to me and she told me, sorry, I did not find anything there because I don't know what I should type there. You forced me to identify with some profession. But I expect from you to tell me what I can do. Because I can speak English, I work with computer, I work with people, but I don't know what I can do with it. But we keep forcing people to identify with a sales manager, account manager, or whatever, but we are harming our user, and we force them to use only the location and then going through the irrelevant job offers until they find the right one. after all of these issues, which we are still constantly facing, but we are improving on that, we came up with an idea that machine learning can help us to solve some of these issues. And we developed our own solution, our own recommendation engine, Mate, which helps users to find the job offers they would not find by themselves. But we are on job boards. We have to make money, right? So that whenever we came up with an idea that accommodate the needs of job seekers, of candidates, we always compare it to our business goal. We have two basic goals for our product. First one is for candidate, because as a candidate, you would like to find the suitable job for you as fast as possible. But you have also a business goal, because as a jobs, we would like to provide as many relevant candidates as possible in order to increase the value of our product, and then, of course, charge money for that. And sometimes it happened to us that we come up with an idea which should against those goals. For example, let me give you an example that users, they would like to see the salary on the job offer. I believe that I'm not the only one who is facing this issue on job board. But unfortunately, you can't force, at least in Czech Republic, you can't force clients to publish the salary. So we know that it will accommodate the need of the user, but at the same time, it goes against our business. So we motivate clients to do that because we know that it increases the number of replies and so on, but we cannot force them. I know that in Slovakia, they have it already in the law, written in the law, that it's no longer optional to show it, but they have to do it. So good for them, because I believe this is something which is really missing, and we know this is something which is one of the biggest pain of our users. But coming back to our topic of machine learning. At JobCZ, we believe that customer or the candidate should go first. We believe that by B2C first approach, we make our job seekers happy, and by doing the job seekers happy, we believe that it will lead to making our clients happy, and it leads to gain more money. Of course, it's a little bit more complicated. We will always have some sales and these people, but this is the basic rule which we believe in. But now coming back to the solution itself, how does it work? The recommendation engine itself works based on the candidate's interaction on the web. And it compares the users against each other and search for the similarities. And when there is a similarity, then we are able to recommend the user. As an example, let's meet Camille. Camille visits jobs, and she visited job offer assistant, office manager, executive manager, and facility manager. And right after her, Jane comes to JobCZ, and she visited only office manager and facility manager. And that's when Maciej comes in place. If you see that these two persons, they have office manager and facility manager in common. And Maciej evaluates that these persons are similar to each other, and therefore Maciej takes the job offers from Camille and recommends them to Jane. And this is the basic algorithm how our recommendation engine works. Of course, it's a little bit more complicated, but I don't want to spend the whole time for just explaining you the algorithm. There are more inputs coming to this recommendation engine, like job offer similarity, number of visits, and so on. Let's move to the funny part of the implementing itself. Behind me, you can see the basic user journey, which I believe all job boards have in common. Homepage, SERP, email, job offer, and application. And we did an experiment on all of these touch points, and I will be more than happy to share the results with you. First, homepage. Unfortunately, it's in Czech, but this is the recommendation. Here you can see it. It was a groundbreaking idea to show recommended job offers on homepage for returning candidates, because our hypothesis was that we will shorten the way to our candidates to the answer. Unfortunately, we couldn't be far away from the truth. In the testing group, where we served those recommended job offers, the number of replies decreased by 37%. And only 12% of users clicked on it. Why? Again, we debrief, and we came up with a hypothesis that we created something like a closed door, blind spot. Because when a user clicked on the recommended job offer, there was no subsequent step to continue. And therefore, they didn't know where to continue with or what they should do now. And so we decided not to implement it because it was just an A/B test. And we definitely plan to try it again, but we need to be smarter. The next place, SERP, the SERP page. We truly believe that the SERP page is the right place where to show the recommended job offers. By default, at the beginning, when we implemented recommended job offers, they were underneath the regular job offers at the bottom of the page. But it came from the data that it does not have that good performance, and also from the qualitative research, the users, they sometimes oversaw them, or they consider them as a paid ads. So we tried several experiments. We tried to redesign them. We tried to put them on the top. We tried to highlight them. We tried to mix them with regular positions. I don't have a good message for you now, because so far I don't have any proven results yet. I don't have either the best or the worst solution. We just know that this is the right place, but we don't know what works and what doesn't work, because there was no proven performance yet from the experiments. But what I can tell you is that so far the recommended job offers at SERP make us 3% of all replies. Email. Email is our sandbox. Everything we would like to try with recommendation, we usually start with emails. We send hundreds, thousands of emails every day to our users with newest job offers for their search query. And we tried basically almost the same experiments as we did on SERP page. We tried them in emails as well. So put the recommended job offers on the top, mix them, highlight them, and so on. But we got a little bit different results. In emails, we have 3 times higher chance that user will click on the recommended job offers than from the regular job offers we sending them via email. Why? Again, we have a hypothesis that the users, they usually come like twice a day on the web. So they know all of the newest job offers, but we send the email only once a day. And it may happen that we send already the job offers which they saw on the web. But Maciej, the recommendation engine, offers them the job offers they would not find by themselves. And that's why we believe that it has a higher impact on performance in emails. But we will keep experimenting with that, because this is really the best place where to experiment with the recommendation. Last but not least, our champion in recommendation is the hooray page. Whenever users reply, we show them a hooray page. Hey, congratulations, you just reply, go for it, but don't count on just one card, and try out some of those recommended job offers for you. And the results showed us that if we show the recommended job offers on the hooray page, we've got 8 times higher probability to reply than from SERP, and we have 4 times higher conversion rate than recommendation at SERP. Why? Our thinking behind it is because the user already decided to reply, and at least from our experience, when the user replies, they are already in the replying mode. And if you serve them more and more, then of course they reply more and more. So if there is any good place, any granted success, then it's after reply. But we are not experimenting just with the placing, but also with the engine itself. As I told you, you should not leave the engine itself as it is, but really try to find out the next value, how it can recommend better. The first experiment which I would like to share with you, it respects user location. 3 years ago, when we implemented our recommendation engine, we immediately saw the impact on the performance. So the number of replies, the conversion rate, everything went high. But we've also started to receive a lot of complaints from our customer care regarding the recommendation, that we recommend nonsenses. For example, we recommend a person a job offer from completely different location across the whole country. And we decided that we would like to make our customers happy, our candidates happy, and we started to send the information about users' location to recommendation engine. And again, we ran an A/B test. The results, there is no proven impact on the performance. 0. But we decided to implement it anyhow because we believe that the machine learning is not here just to have an impact on the performance, but also making our customers happy and increase the user experience. So we kept it, we implemented, and it's running. And since then, the number of complaints from customer care decreased tremendously. The next experiment we ran was shorten the user history. By default, the recommendation engine takes the interaction from 1 day until forever. So imagine that 2 years ago you were searching for an assistant, and then after 2 years you come back to Job.cz and you start searching for something else. But this recommendation engine still counts with the interaction 2 years old. It means that it can be irrelevant because you moved, you would like to move in your career, you completely would like to switch the industry completely and so on, but we still have those interaction. So we decided to shorten this history only to 3 months because we found out that usually this job searching process lasts for 3 months. So, hey, let's give it a try. And after we ran an experiment, it brought us 6% more replies. And what is most important for us, we increased the probability that the user will be hired by 14%. Which is great for us. And the reason behind that is because we were able to recommend more relevant job offers. The most recent one experiment, which ended like two weeks ago, was based on the quality. The recommendation engine itself counts only with quantitative inputs. That means that if user visit job offers, 1 point. If user replies, 2 points, or something like that. Only quantity, but you don't know anything about the quality. Does the user like the job offer? Was the content relevant for him, or they just visited and then they left? And we came up with an hypothesis that maybe there is a correlation between time spent on the job offer and the reply. And of course, there was a correlation, so more time spent on job offer, the higher is the probability that the user will reply. But the most replies are coming between 10 and 30 seconds. So if the user spends more than 10 seconds on the job offer, then the probability that he or she will reply goes really, really up. And based on these findings, we started to send the time spent on the job offer to our recommendation engine, and we recommended only those job offers which were relevant to users. That means that the users spent there more than 10 seconds. And these are quite new numbers. So far, it brought us plus 4% in the replies, and it shortened the way to answer for our user by 3%. Overall, after 3 years of implementing Matěj, I'm more than confident to say that it brings us 1/4 of all of our replies. After implementing it, we've got 50% more of replies coming from email. And definitely what I can sign for is that we increase the customer experience on our website because we try to keep our promise to find the job as fast as possible for the candidates. But definitely we don't want to just stop here because we believe that the machine learning is future. And this is just some of the ideas I already have in my mind or are already in progress at Job.cz. The first one, parsing CV with job offer. I think Oliver was mentioning it before as well, that this engine is already in place. Some of them are already using. It is already in our development, and we plan to launch it very soon because we believe that we can accommodate the needs of I don't know what I can do. You tell me what I can do. And if we motivate users to give us their CV, then we will be able to tell them, hey, these are the most relevant job offers for you. So the pilot will be released very soon. From a completely different area, we know that our users are struggling with even creating their CV. So we would like to recommend them what is missing in their CV because we know what the HR person are looking for. Or what I can imagine in the near future, that we will be able to predict your career based on your history. Because we know that if you were working as a shop assistant for 2 years, then the next stage of your career is a store manager or something like that. So we can start recommend you not just the shop assistant, but also the next step of your career. or something which I believe that will definitely come 10, 15 years from here, or maybe even earlier, is that there will be no job boards needed. Because we all will have some personal assistant like Siri, and we will just say, hey Siri, find me a job. And that's all. No more typing, no more uploading any CV, because this assistant would know everything about us. So no website will be needed. But maybe it's just my idea in my head, but this is something I believe that will happen. So to sum it up a bit, if there are any key takeaways from my presentation, then that is never start implementing machine learning just because it's sexy. Find the purpose, find the why you should using it and what problem should it solve. B, learn fast, fail fast. Experiment as much as possible, because this is the only way how you can learn where is the best place to use the recommendation engine or any machine learning. And last but not least, don't be afraid of start using it. It's not that hard. It looks like a magic, and it is a bit a magic, but it's easier than you think. And that's everything from my side. I don't know if there is a time for questions or not.
Thank you very much. So, does anybody have any questions for Kateřina? Do you have a couple of minutes?
Hi, Kateřina. This is Didi from Intelligence Group. Thank you for sharing your insights of the experiments. You also mentioned your sister, and she would want to search for location, but also skills.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think there's a future in searching for skills rather than for job titles, or what's your take on it?
I believe yes, there is. Because what we also see as an insight from other candidates is that they rather search for the company culture and how can I contribute to company with my skills, not just with the hard skills, but also with the soft skills. So I believe that there is a future in leveraging your soft skills in job searching process. I hope so.
But it's not on your roadmap or in the near future. I'm just curious.
Good question. Let me think about it. What we definitely would like to do is parsing your CV with the job offer, but so far we don't have any solution to accommodate these needs of the soft skills. But definitely this is something we have in our mind.
Thank you.
Any more questions?
Hi. Thank you for the information. And the question is, like, you make a lot of changes on your engine, right? And how do you track performance? Do you run A/B tests to see maybe that seasonal change, or maybe something else influences it?
Usually we run an A/B test, and we sometimes even run an ABC test. So we split the people to more groups. And what we do, we usually run the A/B test at least for 2 weeks, because we would like to avoid the novelty effect for sure, and we would like to avoid that there are some different performance during the weekend and so on. Sometimes there's some public holiday, so at least for 2 weeks, usually even for a month.
How do you ensure that these tests are sort of isolated and they are not influenced by other things that might be happening at the same time? What is your methodology on that?
Good question. Sometimes it happens to us, and that's exactly the reason why I don't have any proven results from the SERP page, because sometimes it happens to us that there are more tests running. I don't have any solution which works 100%, because if you would like to really experiment, you can't experiment just one experiment per month. You would like to experiment like 2-3 experiments per month. So sometimes it happens to us, they influence each other. And that was one of the reasons, for example, that there are no proven results from the SERP page. But if you have any solution for that, we're more than happy to hear it. But we try to separate them. So usually we know that there is a test running on email, and we try not to run any other experiment on email. But you never know, because we can run another experiment on JobSerp, and they can influence each other without even you noticing it.
Okay, one more question.
Well, you explained that you are focused on candidates to make them happy with companies, but did you think about doing the same for companies using machine learning?
And we do. We do. We already have a pilot for using. We have also a different engine, not just Mathieu. We have also Emma. We like names at LMC, and we have Emma. And Emma is currently piloting with companies, and Emma is helping to recommend the candidates from your pool. So imagine that you are an HR person and you have a pool of possible candidates. They maybe replied to you 1 year ago and you store them in some database, and we recommend you the best candidates from this pool.
Thank you, Maria. So we are actually working quite in the same area, similar area, and we had quite some challenges there. So I have two questions. The first one is, how do you deal with different languages? And the second one, generally a bit technical insights, what exactly are you using and how do you use, so two connected questions actually.
First question will be really easy. We have only Czech.
Okay.
We are Czech-based company, Czech-based job board. We have Czech, we have English, but we know that really the minority of users are searching via English version of our website, so we don't even care about them for now. And regarding the technology, we have our own team, R&D team, the data scientist team, which are fully dedicated to improving and coming up with R&D and this machine learning engines. And then I have my own team, my own development team, and whenever we would like to implement some kind of solution, then we work with each other. And I have the privilege to have my own data scientist in my team. So I have someone who is really hands-on to help me with any ideas. He is coming up with his own ideas, how we can improve, what we can measure, and so on. So if there is any recommendation from my side, then invest in the data scientists in your team.
Thank you, Kateřina. That's fantastic. Thank you very much for your insights. It's really interesting. Thank you. Okay.